What's up, YouTube? B-Rod212 here with another video. This is going to be my top 30-ish signature series books. Books that I've acquired. I gained a taste for getting these autographs. Once you start getting them, you kind of get hooked, especially when you're in the con scene. This one here I acquired in New York Comic Con 2017. This is X-Men Gold #1, the J. Scott Campbell Virgin variant, the Store C exclusive, 9.8. All right, we got Fantastic Four #1, the Bill Sienkiewicz variant. This was, I believe, from his store. Just amazing. This was a quest and a half. Me, Manny NYC, Joker M21, and Jeff Johnson went after Bill Sienkiewicz at an art gallery type of signing, and he was late 2 hours. We were just leaving, and we happened to run into him. Basically, the fella's kind of muscle built back into the place quickly, and he signed all our books for us. So it was a mission accomplished, a story to tell. But very nice Sienkiewicz artwork. This one I acquired this year through Midtown Comic signing at New York Comic Con, and it's not fitting in the slab stand, but it's a little thick. Saga #1. Tough book to get in a 9.8 because of all the white, and Brian K. Vaughan signed it right there. Next up was one of my favorites this past con at New York Comic Con. Got the opportunity to meet Mark Silvestri for the first time. Just had a great conversation with him. Talked about this cover. He was explaining how when this first started out and the signature craze started getting big, he didn't understand why this book was getting X to be signed so many times, until he realized when he opened up the interiors that Mr. Sinister's first appearances in this book. So at a 9.8, signed by Claremont and Silvestri. Love the artwork on this. Had to get this signed. Clayton Crane, master of variants for Scorpion Comics, blessed this one for me. New York Comic Con also came back at 9.8. Spider-Man Annual #1. Love that rendition. Another one of this year's New York Comic Con SIGs. The sticker stands are not fitting in there with that. I'll do it this way. But Superman Batman Annual #4. CBCS 9.6. Signed by Archer in that beautiful blue. I think the book presents really, really nice. Just got this back from the last con I went to, C2E2. They had this there. They had a signing with Jim Lee. I actually ran up and got Chris Claremont to sign it, and it came back a 9.8. Now, this was originally a 9.8 that I had for many years. Unfortunately, Jim Lee signed it in gold, which is okay, but I would rather have had it in black, which was what I requested. Claremont signed it there. Talk about a beauty. Look at that. Captain America #110. Iconic Jim Steranko cover. You know, Hulk coming out chasing after Bucky and Cap. 6.0 by Steranko. Books from 1969. I'll take it. This was signed at Big Apple Con in 2018, I believe it was. Yeah. Here's another one Steranko signed for me that day. And that's X-Men #49. This and 50 are the iconic. It's the first Lorna Dane and first Polaris. I was able to get this one. 8.0. This white cover is a tough book from 1968. I'm happy with that. Got this book signed at East Coast Comic Con in 2018. Double signed. I'm probably gonna crack it out one day. Get the third signature on there. But you can't see it because it was signed. But Jim Starlin signed there, and Roy Thomas, who was the editor, I had him sign there. Had this book signed before it really blew up and all the news came out. Again, This was an East Coast signing. Master First Shang-Chi Special Marvel Edition number 15 and an 8.0. Excuse me. First time I got to meet this gentleman was at East Coast. Got him to sign that. Amazing Spider-Man number 361, first appearance of Carnage, signed by Mark Bagley, 9.8. X-Men 4, 9.8. This was from, I believe it was the New York Comic Con signing. No, I'm sorry. This was a drop-off at Baltimore Comic Con this year. It came back at 9.8. X-Men number 4, first appearance of Omega Red. Book that's gotten real hot. Here's one from a mail-away signing. We'll go with Batman number 96. Excuse me. Batman 423 and a 9.6. Just that iconic Todd McFarlane. And this was part of the whole McFarlane signing this year. So I'll take that. Here's another one from that signing. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 298. First Eddie Brock, I believe it is in this book. I know it's a Carnage. It's a Venom panel at the end. But Amazing Spider-Man 298, 9.6, signed beautifully by Todd McFarlane. This one is a big shout out to my man, Amazing Murphinator. He hooked me up with this one here. This is Wolverine, number 55. That's that great Greg Land variant cover. That's the homage to the Golden Age book. Just a beauty. I love it. The blue pops really nice. All right. From 2016, this is the first time that I was able to get J. Scott Campbell at New York Comic Con. And this is Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, number 1. The J. Scott Campbell. I believe this is a 1 in 50. I mean, this book is so popular. They even made a statue and everything out of it. You know, the cover is just iconic. One of J. Scott Campbell's best. Miss Marvel number 17, the variant edition. Beautiful, beautiful cover. I wish it was a 9.8, but I'll take it. By the great Adam Kubert. Just a beautiful cover. I love, you know, that kind of play on the Wolverine pose with the cigar. She's got a lollipop in her mouth. It's just gorgeous. This was the cargo hold variant for all new Wolverine. J. Scott Campbell signed, 9.8. This was a mail-away done with comic sketch art. I believe this book went all the way to Italy, got signed, and came back. Came back at 9.8. Wolverine, the best there is. The Gabriel Dell'Otto variant there, signed by Gabriel Dell'Otto. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. This book here is another example of this community helping each other out at its best. I want to give special thanks to my friend the Dorkeries. I saw that Joshua Middleton was going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. At that time, he was not doing signings, being that he comes from England. Not too many local signings, and this is that iconic Middleton cover. I was able to purchase this book at Zap's Thanksgiving sale, and clean and press it and get it back to a 9.8 when it came back. But again, without the Dorkeries helping me out, this book would never be in my collection, and I appreciate that immensely. But this is what this community does. It's what makes it awesome. Uncanny X-Men number 266. Signed by Jim Lee at 9.6. Although Jim Lee really doesn't have much to do, he's considered one of the creators for Gambit. This book is continuously signed by Jim Lee. I got this in 2016 at New York Comic Con. My man Manny NYC and my boy Greg and my son Justin, we all waited online for the DC booth, and we were able to get these signed. So just a shout out to all of them because we had a great day that day. Wolverine number 1, the miniseries. 9.6, signed by Frank Miller. This was signed in 2017 when Frank Miller was just coming back on the scene and starting to do autographs. I believe I paid $100 at that point for this signature. But this is one of my favorite books of all time. It's a book, you know, from my youth, so I kind of cherish this book always, and it'll stay with me forever. Here goes a great signing. 2018, myself and Manny NYC were at New York Comic Con. I believe you paid $50, and Alex Ross was doing a panel, and you were able to get, I believe it was one item. I gave him 2 books to get signed, and you got his Marvelocity hardcover signed and a print of Black Panther signed. So it was well worth it. Of course, my man Manny got 3 books signed. But great experience. First time I got to meet the great Alex Ross. From New York Comic Con 2016. First person I went to that day, because I love this cover. Archer himself. And he doesn't post or set up an artist alley. He's actually on the main concourse floor. So that was pretty interesting. Ran into it by chance. So I was probably like the 4th in line, because I had books for him to sign. Made sure I got this signed, and it came back at 9.8. As you'll see CBCS books, because I'm a witness for CBCS, so I was able to get a lot of my books signed and not have to go through the hassle of running to get a witness. A couple of my treasures here now. You've heard me talk about this and tell this story before, but that's Uncanny X-Men number 129. That has 3 first appearances. First Kitty Pryde, first Emma Frost, first Sebastian Shaw. And in 2017, John Byrne was at New York Comic Con, and he was signing with, I want to say it was Dark Horse. I might be wrong, but whatever company he was with, they were only IDW it was. They were doing 100 wristbands. You were allowed to get 1 item signed. And myself, Manny, Jeff Johnson, I think Joke M21 was with us. I know my son was with me, which was why I was able to get 2 books signed. But we were able to get John Byrne to sign some X-Men books. He had agreed not to, CGC was not witnessing anything at that signing. But at that point, he hadn't declared that he wouldn't do anything with CBCS. So being witnesses, we were able to get these books in. He has since stopped that also. So now, no graded books, just raw books. I was also able to get that one. X-Men 137, iconic cover. You know, that's Death of the Phoenix. And now these next books count, like those 2 books, because they're both John Byrne signatures, I count them as 1. These next 3, I'm only counting as 1 also, and I'll explain why. But 2018, I got Ultimate Fallout 4. And the big signature for me on this one was Brian Michael Bendis, who I had not met yet. So I was able to get Bendis, Sarah Pichelli, Clayton Crane, and Mark Bagley, who did the cover, all on this, and it came back at 9.4. Ecstatic. Just to get a Bendis signature like that made my day. Now, previously, in 2016, I'd gotten this one done. I'll show it this way. Ultimate Fallout 4, and this is signed by Sarah Pichelli and the late Justin Posner. And I had Sarah Pichelli do Miles' remark on there, and it came back a 9.6. I also had both of them sign. This one and this one came back at 9.8. Again, with another Miles remark. So, just great books that I love. Amazing Spider-Man number 100. This is the first time that I did a Stan Lee signing, and we waited online. Me and my man Justin, my son, waited online for Stan Lee in 2016. I'm trying to think of the company. It wasn't Desert Wind. New York Collectibles was proctoring this, and I was able to get, you can't see, I'll show it to you now, but I was also able to get John Romita Sr. to sign this also. So Ramita Sr. signs on the Spidey leg right there. There you go. So just great. Last year, East Coast Comic Con, New York Warriors met up. Big Lion Cat was there. Cholula's Comics came down. AG Surfer, Amazing Murphinator, just a bunch of guys. Thorough Kubaro was there. The big draw was George Perez. I was able to get George Perez and Jim Starlin to sign this book. At that point, I wanted Wolfman on there, but Wolfman got sick. Was unable to make it. But I'll take this anyway. 9.6, gorgeous, gorgeous Perez. And this was the second book that I got signed by Stan Lee. That signing in 2016. And that's Captain America number 100, 5.5. Love it, love it. This is a book that I kind of sleep on, and I need to get a higher grade one. It's not that pricey. It can be gotten for, you know, a couple $100, but something to think about, something to add to the, you know, to-do list. And here's the last book, probably my all-time favorite variant cover, and that's X-23, done by the phenomenal Gabriel Dell'Otto. This was, again, Comic Sketch Art did a signing, and I mailed these away. They went all the way to Italy, came back. This was a 9.4. I pressed it out. I had won this for $25 in a raffle when the Google Raz site was up that long ago. And thought it had a little bit of a better chance. I pressed it out, and it came back 9.6. Had Dell'Otto sign along the wall right there. So just super, super nice. That's the video. I hope you guys liked it. You know, leave some comments. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed, you like my content, hit the subscribe. Till my next video. Peace.